Milton. Welcome back to Fitness Fire. Today I'm going to dive right in. We're going to talk about intermittent fasting. One of those things that come up all the time. I've been doing it for years. I've been training clients that have been doing it for years. I'm going to tell you all about it today. Please make sure that you share. Please make sure you subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think of the shows. I appreciate you watching so much. Fitness Fire happens every single Thursday, and that's where we talk about the hottest topics of the fitness industry. All right, let's dive right on in. So right now it is the beginning of the new year of 2020, and with that comes a lot of people starting on new fitness goals, okay? We're talking about people that want to lose weight, they developed over the holidays, or maybe they just want to kick something into high gear at this point, you know? Some fitness goals that they didn't get to in 2019, now's the time to bring it. A lot of time that relates to fat loss, weight loss, or some variation of looking lean, jacked, and chiseled out of granite. And that's why a lot of people, you know, they start different diets, they start different coaching approaches, they start different programs, whatever. One of the things that always comes up and people always ask me about is intermittent fasting, okay? And intermittent fasting, if you don't understand what it means right out the gate, it basically means going through periods of time where you are fasting, hence not eating, where you're drinking water. Generally, you can drink coffee and tea and things like that, but you're not eating food for a certain period of time, okay? And so what happens is there's all different variations of this, right? People do actual very long fasts that are days and days for like religious practices and things like that. But the most general sense of what the intermittent fasting actually is the daily type of fasting. So you do what is called the 16-8, okay? And so we're talking about 16 hours a day where you would be fasted and 8 hours a day where you can eat. And the goal is to eat all of your calories, your macros during that 8-hour window. Now, fasting generally is promoted in the fitness industry as a great tool for fat loss, as a great tool for weight loss, and just overall changing your aesthetics. But there's a multitude of other benefits that people don't actually know about, and we're talking about all sorts of different things like boosting your metabolism, right? We're talking about the fact that basically through your life of eating and doing all this stuff and constantly eating, your body is actually pretty much constantly always digesting food, right? Especially a lot of the bodybuilders or people on that side of the industry, you know, we're seeing different things where these people are basically out there eating 5, 6, 7, 8 meals a day sometimes, where they're just constantly berating the digestive system with food. So your body's literally always digesting things. Well, what happens when that happens, contrary to what a lot of people think, eating more does not necessarily mean a boosted metabolism. Eating the right macronutrients and the right calories will lead to those types of things, but it doesn't actually matter too much about the meal frequency. I know a lot of people think that it does, and you should have 5, 8, 6, whatever meals a day, but in reality, you can do the same work as long as you're getting the right nutrients, the right macros, the right micros, and things of that nature, right? So with that, you want to understand that, okay, it doesn't all just come down to, you know, getting it in 5, 6, 7, 8 meals to boost your metabolism. Maybe your metabolism is actually getting too inundated to the point where it actually slows down. And intermittent fasting, taking a break from that, not eating for 16 hours a day, really lets that digestive system kind of reset and go to work and, you know, actually repair some of this stuff, which is some other benefits of it. What else is there? So yeah, intermittent fasting can boost your metabolism, and it can also reduce cell damage and inflammation, okay? So in your body, going back to all this stuff again, sometimes the stuff you're eating is causing you inflammation, right? Have you ever been like chronically bloated or just constantly feeling this bloat experience in your stomach when you're eating, even though you can't figure out what it is? You try to reduce the bloat fluids, you try to do all this stuff, bloat foods, you try to do all this stuff, but it's just basically not going away. Well, a lot of times it's due to the fact that your gut system is basically just over inundated. Again, it's just too much. And so with that, you can reduce a lot of the inflammation. You can repair some damaged cells in the gut lining, things like that, through doing things like intermittent fasting. Another cool perk for people that like to work out, especially people that are heavily into the fitness, you know, competitors, things like that, or really trying to achieve a certain muscular body fat ratio, there's an increased growth hormone effect. Naturally, when you do intermittent fasting, your growth hormone starts to climb more and more the longer you go, and it's going to help, again, your hormones function better, your body just function better, okay? There's been some research into the fact that it's going to reduce the risk of heart disease. It's going to also reduce your insulin resistance, which is huge. It means, the amount of body fat you're storing when you're eating all these carbs and things like that, it's going to go down. It's going to reduce that. It also helps with other neurodegenerative diseases and things like that. It's just crazy the amount of things that it can go into, right? And so basically I could continue along the list. The list is very, very long, but for the most part, it's just a practice that can make you healthier. It's a practice that can help you a ton. It's a practice that can help you get a better look, but also be better on the inside internally too, okay? So I'm going to talk today about how intermittent fasting works and how you can apply it and how you can kind of go at it in a good manner, basically, because it is a good practice to do, even if you only do it for a short period of time. If you do it like a week or a few days, whatever, you don't have to do it all day, every day for the rest of your life. Don't think that that's a thing, but it is a good practice to bring into your life to rebalance some issues you may be facing or deal with some problems you might have going on internally or dealing with things you don't even understand, right? Like I've researched in fasting because I've been doing it for years. I thought about how long ago was the first time I tried intermittent fasting, and I think it was literally like 11 years ago. 10 or 11 years ago at this point. It was the first time I was like in high school and I was trying to figure all this stuff out, learning about diet, learning about this and that, found fasting, whatever, tried it. But I've been doing fasting on and off for years. I've done really long fasts before. I've done short fasts. I've done the intermittent fast. I've done all variations of fast, warrior diet, whatever. Point is, I'm going to talk about intermittent fasting today, the 16-8, and tell you kind of how you can bring it into your life and why it could be a good practice for you to at least try, throw it in. You would be surprised the amount of stuff it can do. It can help with acid reflux, eczema, skin stuff, all kinds of, it's crazy the amount of stuff that it can actually do. And it's basically because your body is going to take care of these things when it has the ample time to do it. And it's not constantly just being attacked basically with food, because that can sometimes happen if you're in a spot in your gut where it's just too much and it's constantly being too much. Well, now you start to develop some issues, and so a good way to correct that is to free it up, let your body do the work, right? They said let that food be thy medicine and that medicine be thy food. Well, your body will digest the food a lot better when you actually let it have some time to repair itself. Okay, so intermittent fasting. If you want to start with it, what you got to do, I recommend 16-8, okay? And it's not that complicated. It's pretty easy, actually. I've done videos on this before years ago, and hopefully now I can explain just as good. But the point is 16-8. You do 16 hours of fasting, you do 8 hours of eating, okay? And your 8-hour eating window, you might right out the gate, if you're one of those people eating literally 16 hours a day, you might be like, whoa, that's crazy, man. How would I do that? What would I do? Basically, it's not that hard, okay? It's really not that hard. You eat your same amount of macros, your same amount of calories within that 8-hour window of time, okay? And again, if you can do this, you get the myriad of fucking benefits that we just talked about. All these different benefits. The list goes on, by the way. Go to my website, TeamFFLEX.com, if you want to see more benefits of fasting. But basically, the list goes on and on about what you're going to get, but you have to stick it to that 8-hour window. If you go to 10, you go to 12, you're going to miss the benefits of it, basically, based on the research they have currently regarding fasting. It would basically just be like a normal caloric deficit. You're not going to get any of the other benefits, so it's kind of pointless to do if you can't do it in the 8-hour window. But basically, all you do is you bring your calories, bring your macros, bring your meals, whatever, into this 8-hour window of time. So what becomes important is making sure that you start this time in a time that's going to work well for you and your lifestyle, okay? So here's a very simple way to think about fasting. If you stop eating earlier in the evening, you get to fast all through the night, you get that chunk of time before you went to bed, and then you wake up and you skip breakfast, basically, and now you're going to be eating lunch, and that's the start of your fasting window, right? So whenever you would have lunch might be the start of it. Let's say it's 10 a.m., okay? So if you have 10 a.m., then you have 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, and 4 to get all your meals in. Okay, that's only 6 hours, so 7 and 8, we get them in to be at 6 p.m. And with that, basically what's going to happen is now you have that 8-hour window. You can do 6-hour window if you want, you can do less, it's harder to do, don't try it. For your first bit, just do that 8-hour, and if you do the 8-hour frame of time, your fast ends at 6 p.m. now, right? And so if it ends at 6 p.m., you carry it through the night, you bring it through to the next morning, you're already at 12 by 6 a.m., and then you go a couple more hours, and you're right back at 10, okay? It's very easy to do. See how simple that becomes now as you're actually sleeping through most of your fast and or just relaxing. In reality, it is good for your body to have a little bit of time away from some foods every now and then. And a lot of you probably are freaking out saying, what are you talking about? This is going to be bad for me. No, it's not. The research shows that this stuff is good for your body. It's not bad for your body. There are obviously bad ways to do it. There's obviously ways that you could mess it up. If you go just have a bender, you order 6 pizzas during your 8-hour window, you're going to have a problem. During your fasting periods of time where you're not eating, you can still have coffee, okay? Coffee has trace amounts of calories and that's not going to affect your fast. You can still have tea. You can still do things like that. You can drink as much water. This is a great time for those of you that have a hard time with your water, by the way, to get more water in, because now you're going to be wanting it. And you'll feel the effects of fasting right away, okay? You'll start to feel it within the first few days of that. Doing this intermittent fast, you will feel the effects. And what I mean by that is probably initially, you're going to feel yourself kind of breaking away from a food addiction, okay? And that's what happens to a lot of people in our everyday normal society, is like we're so used to eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, whatever. Bodybuilders are eating 7-8 meals a day, that your body literally becomes addicted to the food. If you're the person that literally can't go more than 2 hours without eating, it's not necessarily because you need it, it's because you're addicted to it. Your body is addicted to the sugar, the carbs, whatever, the fats, whatever it is, you're having a food addiction, okay? And so you'll start to break that right away, and you will feel the effects of it. You might feel a little bit groggy, you might feel a little bit sluggish, but it's not going to be that big of a deal, okay? This stuff is not going to be something that it's not going to kill you. It's not going to undo anything for you to try to do a 16-hour fast. If anything, it's going to be good for you, okay? So with that, you got to know that happens. That's an important part of it, and that's going to be part of the process. Now, if you can continue to do this, and you do this for a few days, a few weeks, whatever, you're going to notice all the other benefits start to come in. You're going to definitely notice your body composition changing. You're definitely going to notice some improvement in other areas. A lot of these issues that you might have go away. Like I have pretty bad acid reflux. I've kind of had it my whole life. I don't really know why, but I have. And when I do the fasting, it goes away. It's gone. But if I do the other types of eating, it's always there. It's always giving me problems. It's always bothering me. If I do the fasting, it goes away. And this is the type of stuff you would hear with a lot of people that do this. The more you dig into the research of fasting, there's also some good documentaries out there. Those of you that love those Netflix documentaries and things, go check those out, where they talk about, people getting off medications, people getting off, all sorts of different things that they use to support their everyday life, because now doing the fasting, it has actually healed their body to some degree. And the variances of what can be done, it gets rid of cancerous cells, it can do so many things. It's just basically kind of crazy. And I think honestly the main reason that it's this way is because this is more of a natural human type form of eating, okay? A lot of people I know think that eating has to be breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or more than that, but in reality, if we're talking about where our bodies originated as human organisms, it's pretty much not that natural to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and so on and so forth. Literally, if we had to hunt and gather for the foods that we were eating, there would be periods of times where you would not eat every day. You would definitely not be eating every few hours. You would pretty much be, for the most part, eating when you could, eating when you caught something, eating when you found a plant you could eat, eating when you killed something. Basically, that's how it would go. And there's all these untouched Amazonian tribes and things like that in the world where literally they're not industrialized. They don't have any of the stuff that we have in modern day society. Fridges, houses, all that stuff. They literally live in the woods, the forests like they used to, the jungles, like everybody used to. And what they find when they can interview these people is that they talk about all the time how long they can go without food. Basically, they would end up maybe not eating for a week or 2 weeks sometimes, because basically there was just not providing, there was no food being provided in the environment. There was no animals that they could catch. There was no, plants at that time of year, whatever it was. And so it was natural for these human beings, us, in other words, before all the industrialization, to go through periods of time where basically we would not be eating every 3 hours. We'd be not eating every 2 hours. We would basically be eating when we were able to. And if we didn't, it wasn't the end of the world. It didn't kill us. And the crazy thing is about all this, when they interview these people and then they actually do some medical tests on them, and I please encourage you to do your own research on this stuff. Look it up. It's actually very interesting. I can go down a rabbit hole for days looking at all this kind of stuff. But, they find their health markers are far, far better than even some of the people that we would consider the healthiest in the fitness industry and things like that. Their health markers are a lot better. They have better body compositions naturally. They have all these different things. And it's because of the way they eat. It's because of the way they live. It's because of those things. And I'm not telling you at all to pack your shit up and go live in the forest and try to do that. But I am saying that it could be beneficial for you to bring some of this kind of intermittent fasting into your lifestyle. It's very good practice for your discipline, for your mental health, for your physical health, for your aesthetics. It's a great practice to bring in. So if you made it this far in this video, I'd tell you to try it. Because all you out there that I coach that are doing my macros and stuff like that, it doesn't even affect you to try to change it to an 8-hour eating window. In other words, you don't have to change any of your foods, and you out there on any diet plan, you don't have to change your meal plan, you don't have to change your foods. You just try to put it in this 8-hour window of time. So find one that works for you, fit it into your schedule. Some people like to do it at night, some people like to do it in the morning, some people more midday. Again, that doesn't matter. What matters is the 8 hours that you stick to for where you eat. You get all your calories, all your macros, all that in, and then the 16 where you don't, where you're drinking a lot of water, you're having some coffee, some tea, things like that, and you're basically just repairing your body, letting your body get, reset. For the lack of saying 1,000 different ways I could describe it, that's what it is. It's a good reset for your body. It helps you. You will get better results doing a fast and then coming back to whatever versus not ever doing one, I guarantee you. And so with that, I strongly encourage it. It's a good practice. I've coached literally hundreds and hundreds of people over the years through this kind of stuff, and they always love it. They always get a benefit. Most of them stick with it in some form or another, where they might fast a couple days a week, or maybe they just stick with intermittent fasting all the time. Some people take it further. Point is, there's no limit. There's no necessary requirement aside from the 8 hours where you eat and the 16 that you don't. And so that's what I suggest you try. Give it a go. If you have more questions on this stuff, I know you probably do. I'm happy to answer it. I can go way more in depth with you. I can tell you about it. I can tell you how to do it. I can help you set your fast up for you. Hit me up and drop me a comment. Let me know what you need. I'm there for you, all right? Thank you for watching Fitness Flyer. Hopefully you got something out of this. Hopefully it's a good overview of fasting. I will go more in depth. I can. If you guys want me to go way more in depth, like we're talking hour-long videos talking about each part of this, let me know and I'll do it, all right? Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Coach Rye is out.